good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
What's greetings, Earth?
Same genius time.
In the demographic I identify with.
I don't believe you murder.
I think an ignorant voter and a non-voter
crazy what he did. He took the military out
are
before
one and
he
the
took
same.
the civilians.
Same
Who does
genius
that?
channel.
Under his watch.
What
Know
has
something,
he done
bro.
about police reform in this country? Nothing.
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to Unsolicited Genius. I am your curator, Carlton Ennis. As we bring Black History Month to an end on today's show, we will talk about the dream, not Martin's, but mine. We hope to give you something to ponder. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 34 of Unsolicited Genius. Before we get started with the show, I'd like to ask everybody what's on your mind. And what's on my mind is it's a Monday. And I had a meeting earlier today with a dude who just don't like Mondays. So we should be nicer to Monday. It ain't its fault that it follows the weekend, the days off, the chill, laxing, football games, basketball games, golf, if that's what you do, relaxing. There's joy to be had in Mondays. It's the start. It's the initiation of what could be a fabulous week. This might be the Monday that starts the week that you become a gazillionaire. The Monday that starts the week that you find the love of your life. The Monday that starts the week that you get that promotion, if all that don't happen on the Monday. So I know it's hard transitioning from the weekend to getting on the go, but find some space in there. Find some love for the Mondays. And if I offered my coaching services to the dude in the meeting. So if he's watching or if he catches this, the offer still stands. It don't have to feel like that. All right. So for today's show, I want to highlight the fact that we are wrapping up another Black History Month. You know, not getting into the fact that it's the shortest month of the year, not getting into the fact that Black History is every day. All those be true statements, but it is what it is. We have this month, we got Juneteenth in the summer. And so I just want to acknowledge it and appreciate it through what we express on tonight's show. So I mentioned in the intro, my dream. And for most of us, we've heard that timeless speech from Martin Luther King as he talks about his dream. So I thought, why not share my dream? Maybe something that others share in, be it the listeners, the viewers, whomever. Give you a little insight into me and how I flow. So with that, we have headliners, we have sports, we have entertainment. So I'm going to stick with the show segment, but just share my thoughts, feelings about what Black history means to me and what I hope unfolds for us more sooner than later. How about that? So when I think about the news, when I think about all that happens in social media, the internets, as we call it, where does the dream show up there? And the first thing that comes to mind is that, you know, my dream is that people live their lives aligned with who they are, not what Instagram say you should be, not what the Kardashians show you things should be, not trying to be like Jay or Beyonce, not trying to be anybody other than the human being that is you. Love who you want, play how you want, live, work authentic to who you are, especially for Black people. We have in this country gone through centuries of trials and tribulations, all of which contribute to the state of the Black Union as it exists today. No judgment, no excuses. We are where we are. It is what it is. But when I think about my son and his future and his friends and their future, I want people to be them, not what the media says, not what mama, daddy say. Find who you are, be who you are, love who you are, and shine wherever you are. I feel like if our culture allowed the space for that and people took advantage of that, our existence, our experience together would surpass our imaginations. There's so much conflict about who somebody is choosing to date, who somebody chooses to love, what folks choose for entertainment. You play golf, you play golf. You like football, enjoy football. You like to sing and dance, do your thing, be who you are, love who you are, and release the expectations that others place on you. So when it comes to living a Black life, being Black in our lives, I value authenticity, and I look forward to the day when more of us are living and existing authentic to who we truly are. Next on the list is I want America to take ownership of its history. Stop running, stop hiding from the truth, start truly investing in teaching the truth, not just of Black history, Native American history, Irish history, German history as it relates to so many of so much of the foundation of our country. Take ownership of it. You did what you did, America. We feel it. We still see it. So just own it. Because once you own it, you can rise above it. But if you run from it, you will always suffer from it. We know the atrocities that occurred in Germany during the Holocaust. You go to Germany, they own that truth. Granted, the whole world knows, the whole world is privy to that history, so they can't truly run from it, but they in turn don't deny it. We've talked about it on previous episodes of the show. My home state, the state of Florida, is actively trying to remove history. It is actively trying to remove the truth in how all of this got here. Don't do that. Or let me say it different. You're already doing it. But in my dream, in that future state, we take ownership of it. No more running, no more misleading. Open up a history book, K through 12, the truth is in there. Those college courses, the truth is in there. I feel like denying our history only opens us up for repeating the history. And it may not show up in chains and whips and picking cotton, but it will show up in race relations. It will show up in interactions with the police. It will show up in our economy. It will show up in our ability as a nation to compete academically with others. It shows up. It's evident. Own it, acknowledge it, and then we can actually allow the country to heal. Last bullet point in my dream, that it, whatever it is, be given back to who it was taken from. Not necessarily speaking reparations. From where I sit, I have no idea how we figure that out. Is it due? Is it owed? Probably. How much is due to me? No idea. And if I never saw a dime, I'll be fine. Give me my podcast, give me my coaching practice. I'm pursuing my destiny. I'm good. But for those places, those cities, those communities where the land was flooded, to those African Americans who whose homes, whose properties were snatched from under them. We know that value. We got the documents. Pay it back. Give it back. Acknowledge it first, going back to the previous bullet point, but give back what was taken. You know you took it. Atlanta, Alabama, Mississippi. We know the land was taken from its owners illegally, predicated on racist laws or a racist culture that did not enforce any laws as those laws impacted Black families. Assign the value, return the value, pay the value. And bonus, any Black person that wants to search their lineage should be able to get that for free without their DNA being used somewhere else against them and or anybody attached to their lineage. I want to be able to know from whence I came. I could kind of find out 23andMe, but it's not clean. I don't know how accurate it is, and I for sure am not trying to give up my DNA to the federale. So my dream, people will live in their authenticity. America will take ownership of its history, and what was taken shall be returned. We'll take a break and be right back with Unsolicited Genius. Sticking with the theme of Black history, what in the sports? We didn't get into it too much, had, stuff happening between then and now. But in the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago, we had 2 Black quarterbacks. And I remember when we got Doug Williams, the first Black quarterback to play in the Super Bowl. So, to talk about a dream, that is so many dreams come to fruition. Black quarterbacks were judged, critiqued harshly, told they weren't smart enough, couldn't run an offense, couldn't be the type of leader the team did, had all the athleticism in their legs, but didn't have the smarts in their mind, and maybe not had any arm to get the ball down the field. So today, we know for sure that is a farce. There's a lot of Black quarterbacks in the league now. A lot of Black quarterbacks on their way to the league. A lot of Black quarterbacks showing that it's all been a farce. Everything that we have been told that we couldn't do, we have done, excelled at it, and got more to come. Turn on the TV, you see the NBA dominated by Black. NFL dominated by Black. Football is the most watched thing in this country. And when you turn it on, what do you see? Now, we do talk about all the stuff that happens in the owner's box. We talk about the lack of Black coaches on the field. So if we project forward, it's only a matter of time. Shout out to Rand Carlton, new general manager of the Tennessee Titans. Our frat brother, love him to death, proud of that brother. There's more to come. And so when I go back to that first segment about, living in our authenticity and taking ownership of our history, it's recognizing that there's nothing stopping us. If you Black, you can be and do whatever you want. You can create, you can show off, you can make your life be what you want it to be, despite the resistance that has existed and the reality of the resistance that you may still face. I saw a segment recently of Cat Williams talking about Dave Chappelle and everything that he sacrificed in that journey that he had with his show in Comedy Central. It was hard. I can't begin to imagine the pressure and the stress that he felt, but he's Dave Chappelle and he did it. And so, when I see Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl up against each other, knowing that one way or the other, a Black quarterback was going to win this thing, that reaffirms that there's nothing that I cannot do. To remember Doug Williams, to remember the media hype, the controversy, how excited my aunts and uncles were, and what that meant to the culture to see him go out there and do his thing in that game. It didn't seem, I didn't think it would take this, I didn't give it a whole lot of thought to say, oh, when are we going to have two in the game? But I thought that him being in the game, it was a done deal. There would not be any more debate. There would not be any more doubt. But there was. It took us some time, and here we are. And so, we talk about dreams and dreams deferred. It took a little longer than what it should have. It shouldn't have been an issue in the first place, but despite what it was, despite all the restrictions, all the resistance, we still got it done. And so it's inspirational, it's motivating, and it is encouraging for me. So, it wasn't my team in the Super Bowl. I was rooting heavy against the Eagles, no denying that. But the fact that both quarterbacks was Black, both quarterbacks did their thing, both quarterbacks balled out, I feel like we all won. Are you entertained? So when I listen to hip hop, I remember when it didn't even make it to the main showing of the Grammys. And here we are celebrating 50 years of it on the Grammys. And I finally watched it a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Uncle Mo. They did that thing. And what we saw on stage, not just the evolution of hip hop, but the power of hip hop, the power of Blackness, the power of music, the power of what our culture means to this country. Beyonce won the most Grammys ever. And LL Cool J got on stage and went, I guess he's still a rapper, but he's more acting now than he is a rapper. But when you put a mic in that man's hand, he went off. He goes off, and he went off on the Grammys. Busta Rhymes. Father Time comes for us all. Shout out to the Gray brothers. But Busta Rhymes could still spit it. I got a little emotional when Missy came out because she, Missy's songs take me back to my Gainesville days. And, just to see her come out, she's not in the scene as much as she is, but she's a major, major influence in hip hop history. So 50 years of hip hop, 50 years of Black folks expressing themselves through music, showing up on the grandest stage when they didn't want us to. So again, to talk about a dream 50 years later, that's somebody's dream realized. Took some time. The music the music itself has been on an evolution journey. There was a couple people on stage, during the hip hop segment, I didn't know who they were. I can't lie. Whether that's time or I'm in my, I got my hip hop bubble and I stay in that, I can accept it. But needless to say, the world sees and the world receives. And when you listen to country, when you listen to pop, when you listen to Latin, guess who's in that backdrop influencing those genres as well? So the theme of tonight's show is the dream. Martin has his, I have mine, you have yours. But when we see two Black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, when we see 50 years of hip hop being celebrated on the Grammys, that tells us that dreams can be realized. So when we're watching, Black brilliance is everywhere. The movies, the big screen, the small screen, the television series. Shout out to Issa Rae, Insecure, Bomb, Jordan Peele. I ain't into horror, but everything that Jordan Peele has done, I've watched. And when I say to not be a horror fan, but to still enjoy his movies the way I have, the brother is brilliant. Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. What else to say? What else to say? That first Black Panther, movie buffs, everybody ain't love it. That's fair. You ain't got to. Everybody wasn't feeling Black Panther, and everybody wasn't necessarily caring one way or the other. It wasn't defining the culture so big. I give you that. But for me, my people, my family, my crew, Black Panther was everything. Black Panther was everything. Another dream realized. It was a beautiful movie. To watch Black Panther, it's like I could smell it. I could see it, I could hear it, but I could smell the essence of the people. And so in thinking about dreams, I just hope that the brilliance that exists in our artistry continues to be showcased on the grandest scales. There are more hero stories to tell. There are more emotional, intertwined in our interacting and relationships stories to tell. With Insecure, Issa Rae hit that, late 20s to mid 30s time period. Black people turn 40-something. There's Black folks in their 50s. There's Black folks that age out of the game. So there's stories, there's more stories to be told. Now, for your horror folks, look, if there's ever a culture that's experienced trauma, we got some horror to showcase. I might not make it, but if that's your thing, do your thing. Nope, the monkey scene in Nope. I went with my boo thing and she had to soothe me. She had to check on me. It was a lot. But, the reason Jordan Peele showed it and what he captured in it is art. So I give him his props. My stomach, my throat, my heart, I can't take all that. I'm not about that life, but it's still beautiful. It's still brilliant. And, more dreams realized, and I hope for so much more. What you read, what have you read? A Black Story is a beautiful one. Talked about it several episodes ago, but one of my favorites, Water Dancing. One of my favorites, Children of Blood and Bone, I'm sorry. Beautiful Black stories, beautiful Black imagery, beautiful Black history. Dreams realized. So I hope that we continue to show the world who we are, what we are, how we are. Tell the stories without fear. Tell the stories authentically. Tell the stories in truth. Because at the rate that we're going, the rate that we're going and the rate at which history is being removed from the schools, we're going to have to give it to them some way. As a parent, I pride myself in teaching my son beyond what the schools can. But I use Netflix. The history of hip hop is on there. We read audiobooks. We listen to audiobooks everywhere we go. And we have conversations about it. So with what they, however you define they, don't give us, there's plenty of places to get it. No excuse. We can listen to it, we can watch it, we can read it, we can appreciate it, and all be inspired by it. And on that, we'll take a break and be right back. This is Unsolicited Genius. Welcome back, Unsolicited Genius. Before we wrap up tonight's show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow YouTube, subscribe, share, Instagram, like, follow, share, Facebook, follow, share, Twitter, share, follow, like, all that stuff. Find us, we're out there. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. Shout out to super producer Joe Nitty. He is available for engagement. Holler at us if you're interested. All the video, all the edits, all the graphics, all the music, all the what are the ads, all that. This logo, which way I'm going? This logo, Joe Nitty, he do all that. Brilliant mind of Joe Nitty. Shout out to him. If you want him, holler at him. Thank you to our sponsors, Legacy Wear. Your legacy awaits. You can find them at www.legacywearus.com. That's legacywearus.com. Special thank you to Megacore CBD, broad spectrum hemp-derived CBD, the way nature intended. You can find them at www.megacorecbd.com. Special shout out to Aura Rainwater, Hydrate and Elevate. You can find them at www.aurarainwater.com. Shout out to Carlton Ennis Coaching, Be Your Light. You can find him at www.carltoniss.com. That's Carlton, CARLTONINNISS.com. Side note, Fresh Prince Carlton and got into some trouble. Check it out on the ground. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Special shout out to my auntie. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Shirley Clark. Love you. Top-notch supporter of the show. And for those who keep up, she did not win the family football pick'ems this year. But her husband did, Uncle Zeke, so the trophy not leaving the house. It is what it be. I don't like it, but the games was hard to pick, what I'm going to tell you. So before we get out of here, I like to end with thoughts of genius. And in a few words, my dream is that we stop the violence against each other. You can debate your feelings about Black on Black crime as a term, as a reality. Other races, ethnicities don't call it that, so be it. For me, myself, I, the only boogeyman that ever existed in my life looked like me. So whether it's physical violence, spiritual violence, emotional violence, stop. We don't need it. It don't serve us. I know a lot of folks in and out of the game trying to get that dough and whatever comes with it, so be it. Nah, we can stop. There's other ways to make change. There's other ways to get rich. There's other ways to feed your family. Killing, taking, stealing, harming, it don't have to be life. And when it comes to the spiritual or the emotional violence, stop. Let that brother date a white woman. Let that sister date a Hispanic man. Let them be who they want to be and love who they want to love. We ain't no monolith. We don't have to all agree. We don't have to all do the same things to still be in love with our people, to be in love with ourselves. Every time I go on the ground, somebody arguing because somebody do something different than what they think they should do. Why? If they're going in the wrong direction, let them learn from their mistakes. If they marry the wrong one, let them learn how to pick different. But judging and condemning because a Black person flowed different than how you think Black people supposed to cook the chicken, stop it. Let them cook the chicken the way they want to cook the chicken. Everybody's chicken don't have to be the same. Mac and cheese, it's different ways to do it. Yours not going to be better than mine, but that's okay. It's mac and cheese as long as we eating. As long as we eating, that's what matters most. Support each other, respect each other, give each other the space to breathe, give each other the space to experience, give each other the space to just live. You can enjoy my journey without being critical of my journey. Let me do what I do. Let me shine. There's so much love out there for all people, Black, Asian, Hispanic, white, German, Ethiopian, Japanese, wherever you're from, there's love here for you. Black folks, be the love that we are. You know, when Kanye say he's sorry, let's forgive him. I think R. Kelly got 20. We could still pray for him. I ain't gonna listen because it still feel funny to me, but we could still pray for R. We've been through so much. We've gone through so much, and so much is still happening. Let us not be our enemy too. And on that, this has been another episode of Unsolicited Genius. Catch us here again Mondays, 8:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Same Genius time, same Genius channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Craig D. Molat. You are listening to Unsolicited Genius.